Welcome to Sumita Roy's English Classroom. This is Professor Sumita Roy. Today we are going to talk about two very interesting conversations between two classmates. They are older children who are studying and they have discussions on various topics. The discussions are long and we have to follow each sentence because that way you can learn much. First of all, you can learn how to construct good sentences. Second, you can learn how to carry out a conversation by exchanging ideas. And third, you can learn many interesting facts from these conversations. So, these three things you have to concentrate on when you listen to these two pieces of conversation. And then you can have similar conversations with yourself. If you have a friend, then have it with a friend. If you don't have anybody, then try talking to yourself. You pretend as though you're two people and you exchange ideas with each other. Standing in front of a mirror, you can do it. This I have told you many times. But before you start the lesson, please remember to watch fully. Remember to like and comment and share. Also, subscribe if you haven't, because from all these videos, you can continuously improve your English every day. The improvement should come every day. Now, let us talk about these two conversations. The first conversation is about somebody winning an award. The discussion is whether it should be a reward or an award. And then many types of rewards are discussed. Many types of awards are discussed, global awards are discussed. In the second conversation, one friend is describing a visit to the zoo. Most of us like visiting the zoo. The zoo, the full name is Zoological Park, where animals are kept. And here you can see very rare animals and you can enjoy the way in which these animals behave. Most of us cannot go into wildlife sanctuaries. So the zoo is available to everybody, and especially children enjoy the zoo. So here are two different types of conversations. You must learn different things from both of them, but mostly you can enjoy what is being spoken of here. We start with one of the students, one of the classmates saying, Amba, calling by name, do you know that a student of our school has got a reward? Now, the sentence is a question. Do you know that a student of our school has got a reward? Then Amba replies, I think you mean an award and not a reward. Now, you see, you are not only learning English structures, you are learning also vocabulary. So, Amba replies by saying that I think you have to call it an award and not a reward. One of the students of high school has won the literary competition. So, what is the award about? It says one of the students has won the literary competition. The literary competition is either essay writing or writing poetry or some such thing, writing a short story. These are all literary activities. Should we call it a reward or an award? Now, Amba has spoken and Kirti is answering. Kirti is asking. Amba said that we should call it an award, not a reward. So Kirti says, one of the students of high school has got a won a literary competition. Should we call it a reward or an award? Now the answer comes. Amba says that I think award is a more suitable word here. I think award is a more suitable word here. See, instead of saying, I know we should say award. It is a polite way of saying, I think. She knows, but still she's saying, I think this most award is the most suitable word here. Now she gives you the explanation for what is a reward and what is an award. So that also is very important. Reward is given in exchange for something, while an award is given in recognition for excellence. If you are excellent in some field, you are given an award. Whereas if you have done something great, in exchange, you get a reward. Suppose a person has returned a purse full of money. The money was lost in the cab. The cab driver comes and gives you back that money. Then you give the cab driver something. That is a reward. You do a lot of hard work and you get an excellent result, then that is a reward. So that is how Amba explains the concept of reward and award. Many of us might not know, like Kirti, by saying which word to use. Then Amba explains the reward and award. Let's see if we know of any famous awards. Can you mention some? So Kirti hears what Amba says and says, now let us talk about some awards which are given to people for their excellence. Can you think of any of them? This is the way a conversation is carried on. You started by talking about a person, maybe your classmate who has got an award, and then you continue. Can you name some of the people who have got awards or the names of some of the famous awards? That is what you have to do. In the field of literature, there is the Booker Prize and the Pulitzer Prize. Now, these are global awards. If you are good at writing, you write a book which becomes very popular, people love reading it, then you might get a prize. Two names are given here. One is the Booker Prize. Now, when you write Booker Prize, you have to put B as capital and P as capital because that's a name. Kirti has said, can you mention some? So names are being given by Amba. She says Booker Prize and Pulitzer Prize. Now, if you want to speak about these two prizes, then you must search in the internet and see what is the Booker Prize and what is the Pulitzer Prize. That way, you can make many sentences and you can talk to yourself by saying, this is what a Booker Prize is. These are the people who have got the prize in the past. And you can talk about the Pulitzer Prize. Where is Booker given? Where is Pulitzer given? All this you can gather and you can make many more sentences. That way you improve a lot. Then you say, uh, I think there is also the Nobel Prize for Literature. That is what Kirti says. Apart from Booker and Pulitzer, Nobel Prize is also given for literature. Then Amba says, yes, Nobel Prize is given in 6 categories, of which literature is one. So see how much they know. Their general knowledge is very good. Students need this. Students have to have excellent general knowledge. So whichever field we go to, we should have a lot of awareness. So this conversation not only gives you good sentences, you can make use of these sentences, but it gives you a lot of information, how to put that information when you are talking to people. That is what you have to remember. So here we have uh, Amba mentioning that there are 6 categories in the Nobel Prize, out of which literature is one. So 5 more are there. Obviously, Kirti asks, what are the others? She doesn't know, so she wants to know. What are the others? 5 more should be there. What are they? So Amba says, physics, chemistry, medicine, economics, and peace. So these are the 5 areas. Now you can find out about the Nobel Prize. Where is it given? Who instituted, the great person Alfred Nobel? That is the person who has instituted these awards. Why did he do it? And when it is given? Which part of the year? Who has won it the last time? So many things you can find out and talk about them in English. Your English becomes better, all based on this. Oh, that's good. Now, Kirti says, after hearing the 5 names, I have seen many award ceremonies on TV for music and dance. Now, you have many local awards. You think of all the awards which you have seen. Competitions are held on television, you see it, and then you see who the winner is. After many, many, many rounds, they declare who the winner is. Then Amba says, yes, MTV has music awards. Then there is also the well known Grammy Awards. The Grammy Awards. From literature, we went to other subjects, 5 of them. Now we have come to music. So another name is given. I know that. Kirti also is now adding to the conversation. Not only Amba is giving information, Kirti also is giving information. She says that, and for films, there are the Oscars. Oscars are the most prestigious film awards given in the world. So he says that for films, there are Oscars. Yes, those films which win Oscars are given a statuette. If you see the picture, you will find that, a thin, long statue is given. That is the Oscar prize. Just like, yes, there are also other famous film awards like the Cannes Award. We write Cannes, but we pronounce it as Kan. So we have the Cannes Award. That is also very famous. Then Amba says, yes, I think those are given by the French, while the Oscars are American. Now you see, they are going to the places where they are given. Nobel is given in Sweden. Now here we have the Cannes is French and Oscar is American. Just like Booker is British and Pulitzer is American. Now earlier we saw it. Booker Prize, literature. Pulitzer Prize, literature. 2 different countries. In the field of sports, there are many awards also. They talk about various countries, like the African country Ghana, where there are Personality of the Year award. In cricket, we have the Man of the Match or the Man of the Series. These are also awards which are commonly given. I think we have spoken much about awards. This is what Kirti says. Now let us see what we can do with the word reward. Can you make a sentence using the word reward? Now, see how these 2 classmates are testing each other. They are sharing each other's information and knowledge. So he says, can you make a sentence using the word reward? We spoke so much about award. Now let us speak about reward. Amba says, I'll make a sentence. The reward of hard work is success. The reward of hard work is success. Okay, now it's my turn. Kirti gets excited. She says, okay, I also want to make a sentence. The police rewarded him for helping to catch the culprit. This is the sentence she makes. The police rewarded him. Now, the earlier sentence was the uh, reward of hard work is success. Their reward is used as a noun. Now, here, reward is used as a verb in the past tense. The police rewarded him for helping to catch the culprit. Excellent. You have used reward as a verb and you have used it as a noun. So both friends tell each other that you have used it as a verb, and the other friend says, you have used it as a noun. So now we know that reward can be used both as a noun and as a verb. That's true. It has been a rewarding discussion. Thank you. Now, rewarding here is adjective, which is actually a participle. We have also done non-finite verbs. So go back to the video of non-finite verbs and see this usage. Rewarding discussion. Thank you. You are welcome. See how nicely they have spoken to each other about a very difficult conversation on so much information, two new words which they described, the words which they made sentences with, and also showed you how the word reward can be used as a noun, a verb, and also a participle, which is an adjective use here. Now we move on to the second conversation. The second conversation is very simple because it is a visit to the zoo. Kirti says that, now she's talking to another classmate. She says, Akhil, I must tell you the great time I had at the zoo yesterday. She comes to school and she talks about the visit to the zoo. They exchange ideas about what is possible in the zoo. Then Akhil says, oh, did you visit the zoo? Question. Oh, did you visit the zoo? How exciting. How exciting is an exclamatory sentence when we want to express deep emotion, when we want to express surprise, or of course in negative terms, when we want to express sorrow or condolence, we always use exclamations. So here, Akhil uses an exclamation, and that is, how exciting. Now, Kirti says, yes, all the families in our block took their children there. So we went with all our neighbors and their children. Was it a large group? Akhil asks. Yes, there were more than 20 children, and we had such fun. So the adults were also there, but in children there were 20. So everybody had fun. Now we have done adjectives. You remember that all numbers are adjectives. So here is a number. Earlier they said that there were, many families who went, all the families who went. And then here you have 20 children, the count. I wish I could also have gone with you. Now, why didn't you tell me? I would have come with you. It was decided at the last moment. Otherwise, I would have told you. The people in the colony decided at the last minute. The college friend, the school friend might stay far away. So you cannot communicate by saying you come immediately. Therefore, I could not tell you. Otherwise, next time, if we plan at least one day in advance, I will surely tell you. That's very nice of you. Now, Akhil feels happy, says that next time they go, he will also accompany them. Tell me what all you saw. Now, I didn't go to the zoo, so I can find out what you saw. This is how a commentary is given. There was a time when there was no television. So whoever was on the field would see the sport and tell it on the radio. And by listening to the radio, people could understand what was happening on the sports field. Today, of course, you can see it live. You can see it happening in front of your eyes. not from the place where it is happening, but sitting in your own room. This is one way of enjoying by listening to what others say about a place. So now Kirti begins to talk. There were many huge animals. Look at the order of adjectives. We don't say huge many animals. We say many huge animals. That is, you have the number first, and then you have the quality. The elephant, the hippo, the rhino, the lion, and the tiger. Wow! Again, exclamation. Earlier he said, how exciting. Now he says, wow. Could you see them all? Now, the, these many animals are there in the zoo, but they should be available for you to see. They might be sleeping somewhere or hiding somewhere inside the cage. Then, of course, the weather was so pleasant that all the animals had come out of their cages. Says that, how did we see all the animals? Because they all came out in the sun and they were all sitting outside or standing outside. Akhil wants more, says, tell me more. This is an encouragement for conversation. When you are talking to people, these are phrases which you can use. Instead of giving you a string of phrases by saying, please use this, see how much more interesting it is to use it in a conversation. By listening to this conversation 10 times, you will learn all the phrases which are used for continuing a conversation. Now, Kirti says, when we reached the lion's cage, it was feeding time. Feeding time means lunch or dinner. And we saw the zoo attendant feeding the animals. The attendant, the person who looks after the animal, who attend is to take care, attends to the animals, was feeding the animals. That must have been interesting. Akhil feels that it was so interesting to watch the animals being fed. And then we went to the monkey's corner and saw such a great variety of apes. Now, see, Kirti uses two words, monkey, ape. They mean exactly the same. Monkeys are called apes also, APES. So, monkeys, we went to the monkey's corner and saw a great variety of monkeys. In the same sentence, using the same word twice is not very good. Then we can say monkeys once and apes. Why do you call them apes? That is what Akhil asks. That is what the general term for all kinds of monkeys and similar animals is. So, all animals which belong to that family, monkeys family. Family here means a zoological family. Then you have, they are all called apes, she says. Oh, and what else did you do? You saw so many animals. Tell me, what else did you do? We went to the reptiles corner and saw many types of snakes. Now, see again two words, snakes, reptiles. Snakes are reptiles, reptiles are snakes. So, two words are used. Enhancing your vocabulary, enhancing your grammar. All this is happening, and your conversation is also becoming better. So, he says, we saw snakes. So, snakes are also called reptiles? This is the question Akhil asks. You are right. Then we saw some birds, ostriches, wild hens, ducks, peacocks, and many others whose names I can't recall. Now, this is only a young person. Says, I saw many birds. I can tell you some of the common ones, but other birds I don't remember names. Ostrich, wild hen. Now, you listen to all these words and check their pictures online. I'm sure you'll get pictures of all the animals she listed and all the birds she listed. Snakes, reptiles. apes, monkeys, all pictures you can see. Then it becomes clear to you what Kirti is describing. Ostriches, wild hens, ducks, peacocks, all these she saw. Were there any parakeets? Parakeet is another kind of bird. I'm sure there were, but I can't remember exactly. She saw so many things that she cannot remember everything. So she says that I'm sure we saw some of them. Does the zoo have any models of dinosaurs? Usually, in the children's corner, huge model of dinosaurs are kept in zoos because dinosaurs are extinct. Extinct means they are no longer alive. They lived thousands of years ago. We don't know how they are. So the scientist constructs it and tells us this is how the dinosaurs looked. You mean prehistoric animals? Now she uses another word. See how much vocabulary there is. You mean prehistoric animals? Yes, there is a place called the Prehistoric Park. Prehistoric. History is from where we have all the books and stories. Pre means before that, prehistoric, before the human beings, before our own culture, civilization came into existence. So there is a place called Prehistoric Park. These are prehistoric animals, which has a model of a diplodocus and some other animals whose name I forgot. Diplodocus was one of the dinosaurs' names. You had Brontosaurus. Many such names are there. These names are given by human beings. In those times, there were no humans, so we don't know whether the dinosaurs could speak or they could exchange names. Well, you seem to have had a wonderful time. Now, Akhil is feeling that, Kirti has really enjoyed herself. So he says, you seem to have had a wonderful time. That we did, Kirti says. Next time, I hope we shall be able to go there together. So both of them are friends. They say, next time we must go to the zoo together. Akhil says, I hope so too. That is where the conversation ends. So here you find that the conversation is helping you in various ways. One is that if you have any social context, I remember somebody wanted social conversation. So here are two, although they are classmates, they are carrying out a social conversation. You meet somebody who you want to tell about everything you know. Suppose you find that some Nobel Prize has been declared today. So tomorrow you talk to your friend. You say, did you hear such and such a person got the Nobel Prize? Then that person can say, okay, what is a Nobel Prize? Who gives it? Why is it given? For what reason did this person win? You have 10 questions, and all the answers carry out the conversation. They take the conversation forward. This is how conversation helps you to become confident in the use of English. Conversation helps you to put your ideas into correct English sentences. It helps you to expand your vocabulary. It helps you in your pronunciation, in your intonation, and if you're writing it down or if you're reading it, then your spelling and punctuation also are improved. For instance, we had a question mark. What did you see in the zoo? Question mark. How wonderful! Exclamation mark. So these are what I have told you while reading the conversation. But you have to remember that these will be available to you when you read such a conversation. So try to read much. The more you read, the more you listen, the better your English becomes. These are two sessions of conversation, two pieces of conversation, which you can use for making 10 other pieces. Practice it. The more you practice, not only based on what the video tells you, but also what exercises I tell you to do. constructing the correct kind of sentence, using the correct vocabulary, and then, if you have a doubt in a word like reward and award, using it again and again. This way, you improve. So, thank you and all the best.